totally different teeth. Our baby. Hello, welcome back to Sage and Stone Homestead. My name is Heather. So we have quite the collection of dairy goats here, and springtime is when we get the most milk. I like to milk year round, so I actually have two different kidding seasons. I have a spring kidding season, and then I have a fall kidding season, and we have lots of fresh milk year round. Most of the time, like most of the year, I will hand milk, but I have just recently pulled out my machine. I need to pull this out in the springtime because just the volume and the work that it takes to get the milk out is too much for my bad elbow, and so this thing has been a lifesaver. We do what's called a kid share here on our farm. I like to dam raise our kids. It just helps make things flow a lot smoother on my homestead. And dam raising is basically just letting the moms do it. But eventually, what I'll do is separate moms and babies for 12 hours at a time. And I did that last night. So I came out at about 10 p.m. last night and put all the babies in a stall so that their mama's udders can fill up. And we're gonna go get the milk. Good morning, good sir. Good morning. At the moment, we're still feeding some hay. I feed about a bale of an orchard grass and alfalfa mixture every day to this barn. And then at milking time, I mix up some goat pellet. It's this Combat brand. You can see I'm really great at housekeeping. And this is a little bit of molasses because I need to put in this biowormer. I've talked about this stuff in videos past, and I used this last year with great success. What this is it's essentially a natural dewormer. It's a little bit of a fungal concoction that the goats eat that they don't absorb. They poop it out, and when they poop it out, the fungus actually attacks the larval form of any worms that the goat may have had on board. So the goat will poop out worm eggs, and those eggs will hatch, and this will take care of them, so there's not like this recurrence of the life cycle of the worms. It's really nice. Last time I checked, this was out of stock, this smaller, more concentrated pail, but you can get it on Premier One Supplies. They have a bigger pail that has a little bit of a, I think it's called Livamol, something like that. It's like a filler. And that's what we used last year. This smaller pail here is just a little bit more concentrated. Margie here is a goat that I've had for a long time. She actually didn't give birth this spring. She gave birth last spring, and she's still in milk. I had stopped milking her for a time, but then I sold her 1-year-old babies, and they had been nursing on her, and so she was filling up. She really wanted to come on the stand. She's not bad condition at all, so I figured if she's gonna jump up here, I might as well milk her. So this is what I wash the udders with. Any kind of natural or unscented baby wipe. It's not particularly muddy here right now, so she's not too bad. I do not do udder shaves. Most of the time I did do udder shaves on some girls just for fun, but I don't do it as like a standard. And then squirting out the first bits of milk just helps clear everything out. It helps me make sure there's not a weird consistency to the milk, and it helps clear out any bacteria that could have been in the orifice. Good job getting out a lot of the milk all by itself, but I still do have to come in and massage udders just to make sure that all of that milk is working down into the machine. And And then once the flow slows down, I'll close the teat cups here. I'll close off the suction. And then all I do is put my thumb right at the opening here and break suction, take her off. And then it's a good idea to come behind the machine and just make sure that we got everything, because every little bit of milk left in the udder tells the udder that it has to make less next time. So emptying them out fully is really the goal, if at all possible. A lot of them are going to hold back milk for their babies, but the babies will take care of this part. Talia's ready. They know the routine. So at this point, you'll see a lot of people will, clean the teats again with something, and that's not necessarily a bad idea. I just don't find it necessary in my situation. Why people do that is because right now the teat is open. Over the course of about 30 minutes, that teat will kind of close up, and that closure helps protect the teat from any bacteria, like when the goat lays down or anything. And I happen to know that Margie is not going to lay down, and in the case of my other goats, the babies are just going to go ahead and nurse pretty soon anyway, and so I don't worry about this part. And so far, mastitis has not been an issue. We've actually never had a case of mastitis here. Not that it will never happen, but we haven't found a need to do like a post milking wash. Ma'am, you know the drill. Thank you. So Talia is one of my goats that puts a lot into her milk, and she is a tiny bit thin for my liking. Her babies are about 6 weeks old right now, and she's putting a lot into them via her milk. And so I am supplementing her with this stabilized rice bran, and this really helps up her condition. Just got a little bit of a teat damage on this side where it looks like one of the babies bit down. They're gonna be weaned pretty soon, at least the little boy is. For stuff like that, I do have this teat spray. It's chlorhexidine. It's really good stuff. Okay, and she's done with her breakfast. Some of them eat faster than others, especially when the goat is a little bit under condition like this. I like to give them the time to finish what's in the bowl, and she's done. Come on. Come on. Who's next? This little rope that I have attached to my milk stand, it's called a hobble. I don't need to use the hobbles with every goat, but some of them are just a little bit steppy on the stand, and it helps them not kick off the milk machine or kick the pail if I'm milking by hand. Elpis here has a preference for hand milking, so we'll see what I can get out with the machine. Well, she's already ready. Elvis's teat is a little bit funny shaped on this side, and so I have to sort of hold the teat cup in place or else it tends to lose suction. These cups that I'm using here are actually the Nigerian teat cups that you can get with the machine. With machines like this, you can get these are called inflations. You can get a standard inflation, which is made for the longer teats, or you can get like a Nigerian inflation, which is made for the smaller teats. And I find that the Nigerian inflation works really well even for my long-teated girls like Elpis. And since I'm milking both standards and Nigerians, being able to keep one inflation on the machine is really useful. It's really nice. Her udder is still quite big, and it's still quite tight, and she's slowed way down in production. So I have to do quite a lot of massage with Elpis in order to get her pretty much milked out, but it is better than hand milking her. With hand milking, I have to massage and then come down here and milk. Massage and then come down here and milk. The machine and I can work in tandem to milk her out, so the machine is faster for milking her out. This here is a doe named Barely. I was not gonna milk Barely this year because she's got such tiny teeth. It's a lot of effort to get milk out of her, but one of her babies, Winnie, that I really want to keep is a little bit wild. And so what I'm doing with Winnie is attempting to bottle train her so that I can feed her along with Mama and help kind of tame her. So I've separated her kids overnight, and so she does need milking. See how little they are? Especially in comparison with what we just milked. See if I can even get these out. Yeah, there we go. She has not been milked yet this season, so she might be a little kicky. Maybe not. All right. Good girl. So see, drastically different teeth, but the machine works the same. As long as the cups stay on. There we go. Nope. The hobble that I used to have on the other side of this milking stand, it broke. So I'm only working with one right now. Just eat. Wrong way. Good girl. There you are. The prettiest udder in the barn award goes to Clover. This is her first freshener udder. Ma'am, that is so pretty. I really love it. We're definitely coming into summer. Starting to blow their winter coats. Sometimes if the goats are taking a little while to finish their breakfast, I'll do other things. I've got some rabbits and quail back here that need food and water. I could do that. Sometimes I'll brush them. Sometimes I take the advantage of them being caught up in here and I'll tend to their feet if they need it. Or if I've got my phone on me, I'll just scroll a little bit. I wonder if we had babies last night. I've got rabbits that are due. Let's see. She did. We have babies. 1, 2, 3. Wow. 4, 5. Another dark one. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is a great size. Oh my gosh. 11. 11 baby bunnies in this litter. Holy cow. Look at them all. They're so cute. Just gonna put them back where she had them. Yeah, that's been her sign that she's done. Are you ready to get down? In the past, Christine really hasn't made more milk than a Nigerian dwarf, and for a while I really didn't know what was wrong. She also wasn't conceiving more than one baby at a time. But last season, at the end of her last pregnancy, I treated her for liver fluke. One of the symptoms of a goat having liver fluke is a low milk output, which makes sense. Their bodies are trying to deal with something else. It's hard to put that energy towards milk. But she's got plenty of milk this year. Babies they're ready to come out. We're almost done. We got one more mama after this, and that mama doesn't have, she still has her babies on her. It was Tempest. Her babies are only a week old. I don't start the kids share till about 2 weeks of age, between 2 and 3 weeks old. At that age, the baby's rumen is starting to function, and so they don't rely solely on mom's milk at that time. And so when I put the babies up at night, I feed them hay, they've got fresh water, and I do sprinkle a little bit of grain in a bucket that they all share. So they've got calories going in. She's doing the thing that she does. Christine really likes to lean on me when we're milking. I have found though that if I lean into her less, she does it less. It's like a war, I guess. It's like a competition. Who can lean the hardest? Milk facial every day. That's my skincare. So when I'm done milking, there's always a little bit of milk stuck in like the low end of the hose. So what I do is just open up the inflation sphere and just let it suck all the air through, and it brings all the milk out into the bucket. I also have what we collected after the milker. It's quite a bit. It's at least 2 gallons probably. I'm gonna add this in there. Oh, you poor babies. You guys ready? So I'm gonna let all the babies out, except for I am gonna leave Winnie and her brother in here because I'm gonna bottle feed them. Go on, this way. Look, out, good. You next. Go on, Laura. Listen, the mamas know they want you out there. Go on. Go get mama, Laura. That's not mom. I mean, she might feed you. I'll be back. I want to give you bottles. Okay. As you can see, I've got a jacket on. It's quite cold outside. I don't think it's even 50 degrees, and so I didn't worry too much about the milk out there. But in the summertime, I actually have some dedicated ice packs, freezer packs that I put inside this canister. So as soon as the milk hits it, it starts to cool down. I don't find the extreme need, other than that, to super cool the milk really, really fast. I know a lot of people will say to get it under a certain temperature by a certain time. I'm sure that's based off of something, some kind of recommendation, and it's not necessarily bad to do that, but I just put my milk straight in the fridge. I don't do anything about like putting it in the freezer for an hour and then taking it out and stuff like that. I don't have the headspace for that, so I don't do that, and so far in 3 years of milking, it's not been a problem. We actually keep our refrigerators quite cold. Actually, if the milk is in the back of our dairy fridge, it will freeze, and so it stays pretty cold, and our milk lasts probably almost 2 weeks before it starts to taste like it's starting to clabber or sour. So we've got to get it out of the canister though, and I have this big funnel and this very clean bucket, and the funnel has 2 different milk filters elastic to the bottom of this. This is 2 elastic bands. There are rings that insert into these funnels that hold filters in. Mine will only hold 1 of these milk filters in. There's not enough give to include 2 milk filters, and we find that 2 milk filters is best here. We have a very fine dust on our land, and 1 filter just doesn't cut it. And that's what the filter caught. Wasn't a whole bunch, but there's some stuff in there. So the milking chore is not done. Even though we're done putting the milk away, I have to clean the machine and prepare it for tomorrow. So what I have in the bucket here, I've rinsed it out, is just some cool water. We're gonna do 3 separate, like essentially rinses of this machine. First of all, I will do the cool water rinse, and that's just gonna flush out any of the milk that's in the lines. And the reason you don't wanna do warm water, you wanna do cool water with these things, is warm water will start to break down the proteins in the milk. And when they start to break down, they kind of bind to the plastics and things a lot more easily, and so cool water helps them flush a lot better. The second rinse is with hot water. It's with hot water and a dairy specific soap. It's very sudsy and lovely. And then the third rinse is an acid rinse. This is phosphoric acid that I have here. A little bit goes a really long way. I just put a splash inside about a gallon of water. And what this does is it creates an acidic environment inside the lines so that no bacteria is able to grow. Now everything needs to dry out. So the acid rinse, it's important that I don't rinse that out again with water because that's gonna mess with the pH inside the lines. So I just want this to air dry so I can hang it up here on my shelf. And I have this little fish pump down here that my mentor sent me, and it attaches to the end of this hose. This hose right here had the milk in it, and when I turn it on, it puts this light puff of air through the lines that helps dry it out a little bit faster. One of the things that bacteria loves the most in order to grow is moisture, so we've got a high acid environment in there at the moment, and we are going to be drying it out quickly. And all of that is going to help ensure that our milk stays clean when we use these hoses, you know, day after day. I don't know if you can even hear it, but I just turned the little air pump on. There's other hoses attached to the machine, like this one, and these ones I just pull the components all the way apart and just let them air dry. No milk ever goes through these. And every once in a while I will do like a full soak and a full deep clean of everything, all of these lines and components, but that's only like every 2 weeks or so. This canister still has the water and phosphoric acid mixture in it, and I'm going to use it to rinse off the lid. And just like with the hoses and things, I want the acid to stay on here, so I'm not going to be rinsing these out. These do get a full wash every week. All right, let's see if we can get Winnie to take a bottle. She's not been taking it lately, but I haven't been separating her from Mama at all. So that's one trick to getting a baby to take a bottle, is just wait until they're hungry enough. And another trick that was given to me, another tip that was given to me by one of my friends who exclusively bottle raises, the milk should be nice and hot. Goats are 130 degrees on the inside, and if we can make it kind of a similar temperature to Mama, that's always helpful. Do you see her? I did not let Winnie out. Poor baby! Brother is in here. Hang on, I'm gonna go get your sister. I think I figured out where Winnie got out. First I thought she jumped, but I don't think so. She weaseled out of some of this fencing in here that's less than ideal, but let's see if we can get her to drink. She did drink off of Mama, but we milked Mama this morning, so Mama didn't have a ton. Here. Oh, she's so naughty. Oh, Winnie. See, he knows. Do you see a little boy down here? He's been taking a bottle. Let's do brother first. Poor baby, he's been the only angel. You've been an angel. You want this? Don't you dare. Do you see what brother's doing? I don't want her to get out again. I've only got like a cattle panel on the side of this particular kidding stall. And so she got out through this middle kidding stall here. Yeah! You're a wild child. I don't want you to go escape again. There. I'd say you got your fill, sir. Good job. You know what I'm gonna have to do? I'm gonna have to wean her completely in order to get her to have a bottle, I think. Which is really not what I want to do. I don't like exclusively bottle raising because it's a commitment. And it gives me a little bit less flexibility with their mothers. But because their mom isn't in my normal like milking rotation, and I really would like Winnie to be friendly, I may end up just pulling her. This guy's fine. He can stay with Mama. But this is not gonna do. A lot of the times, all it takes to tame baby goats is just to spend time with them. What we do on our farm is I just put my kids, usually my human children, out with the baby goats while I'm milking and they play with them. But some of them are just not, some of the baby goats are just not into it. So obviously my children have their favorites and they play with those favorites. And some of them have gotten kind of left behind, to include Winnie, which is not good. We're gonna force you to be a bottle baby. I mean, it's your stubbornness that's doing it. I will win. I will. That's the thing with goats too. You have to be more stubborn than them, or they can kind of be a butt pain. Well, I've got somewhere to go today, and you're gonna come with me. Yep. Let's go. So anyways, guys, that's what the morning milking routine looks like, and what it looks like to fail so far at trying to bottle train a baby goat, but we'll get there. She will get hungry enough. If she hadn't have broken out of the stall, she probably would have taken the bottle, but we'll do it. Don't you worry.